Chrisean Rock has been through public drama before, but nothing like this. What happened over the weekend wasn't just awkward. It was straight up humiliating, and it all went down in front of cameras, fans, and a room full of people who couldn't believe what they were seeing. Yes, she's been making headlines for moving on, for leveling up with a brand new boyfriend who seemed like a fresh start.
That's pretty! I got Blue in the video because I was with that person. Who name did he put in that caption when he posted my son?
After everything with Blueface. But last night, that fresh start turned into a nightmare when he did something no one, especially Chrisean, expected. Insiders who were at the event are already calling it the coldest rejection they've ever witnessed. We're talking about a moment so brutal, the footage is being replayed on social media like a slow-motion car crash. Fans are split between sympathy and disbelief, while haters are having a field day. And the worst part? This wasn't just a random misunderstanding. According to multiple sources, this was a build-up weeks in the making, and there are receipts that show this rejection might not have been as out of nowhere as it looked. Stay right here, because once you hear what her new man said and who else he's been talking to, you'll understand why. Chrisean looked ready to walk out to really understand why this moment hit Chrisean Rock so hard and why it's all anyone in. Her orbit is talking about you have to rewind to just a few weeks ago, when her new chapter was supposed to begin. After months of messy back-and-forth headlines with Blueface, Chrisean was finally giving the impression she was ready to move on. She'd been dropping cryptic Instagram captions about peace, better energy, and new beginnings. Then came the photos, a series of snaps showing her out at dinner with a tall, clean-cut guy the internet didn't recognize. Fans immediately went into FBI mode, finding out his name, his career, and even his old social media accounts. The narrative formed quickly. This wasn't another industry rebound. This guy was supposedly a businessman, someone outside the chaos of the music scene, and according to Chrisean's own words, different from anyone she'd dated before. People close to her were saying he treated her with respect, opened doors for her, and was all about her success. The hype grew after they were spotted together at a charity basketball game. In videos from that night, he's seen with his arm around her, smiling, laughing, clearly at ease. Fans flooded the comments with things like, "Finally, she found a real one." And this is the glow we wanted for her. Behind the scenes, though, there were early cracks in the fairy tale. A close friend of Chrisean's told a gossip page that her new man wasn't exactly thrilled about the amount of attention that came with dating her. Paparazzi following them to lunch, random strangers shouting her name on the street. He wasn't used to it, and it showed. Then there was the social media activity. Fans noticed he rarely liked her posts, even when she tagged him directly. Meanwhile, screenshots started circulating of him liking and even commenting on photos of other women. Chrisean brushed off the rumors at first, telling her followers not to read too deep into online drama, but the tension was there, simmered quietly as they continued to appear in public together. Some fans noticed she seemed more subdued when he was around, less playful on live streams, almost like she was overcompensating to keep things perfect in front of the cameras. The turning point came when they were both invited to a high-profile private event, a mix of music industry heads, influencers, and athletes. It was supposed to be a big night for Chrisean, show off her new man and shut down the "it won't last" crowd. In the days leading up to it, she teased the appearance on her socials, posting selfies with captions like "wait till y'all see who I'm stepping out with" and "power couple energy." Fans were ready for the debut, expecting red carpet photos and sweet moments that would dominate the blogs. But what happened inside that venue would flip the narrative on its head. Multiple people in the room have already confirmed that this wasn't just an awkward moment, it was a public shutdown so cold the air in the room changed from the way witnesses describe it. There were signs even before the big moment that things weren't right. He arrived separately from her, avoided group photos, and seemed distracted, spending more time on his phone than engaging with the people she introduced him to. Chrisean, ever the performer, tried to keep the energy high, chatting and laughing with guests, but you could tell she was watching him. Then came this scene that's now gone viral. Cameras caught it from multiple angles, and every version tells the same story. A moment of pure embarrassment. In front of an audience, what happened next is the reason Chrisean Rock was trending all night and why her fans are split. Between wanting answers and wanting her to walk away immediately, the night was buzzing, champagne glasses clinking, cameras flashing, conversations bouncing between business deals and celebrity gossip. Chrisean Rock, dressed in a stunning silver gown that caught every light in the room, was all smiles as she made her rounds. But even through the glitter and glamour, her focus kept drifting toward her new man. He wasn't mingling. He wasn't laughing. He wasn't even standing next to her. Instead, he lingered near the back of the venue, scrolling his phone and half-heartedly responding to anyone who tried to chat. People noticed, and not in a good way. According to one witness, Chrisean finally walked over to him, placing a hand on his arm and saying something quietly. He nodded without looking up, which already had her looking slightly uneasy. Moments later, the MC for the evening announced that couples were being invited onto the dance floor for a spotlight moment. A playful tradition where high-profile duos would share a quick dance while photographers snapped away. It was supposed to be harmless fun. It's the kind of thing that would end up on Instagram with a cute caption. But when Chrisean turned toward her boyfriend, smiling and gesturing for him to join her, that's when it happened. He shook his head, not playfully, not shyly. It was a firm, visible no, accompanied by a dismissive wave of his hand. The music was already playing, and other couples were making their way to the center of the room. Chrisean hesitated, clearly expecting him to follow her lead. But instead, he stepped back, lifted his drink, and turned his attention to another group across the room. The cameras caught it, the hesitation in her smile. The moment she realized he wasn't coming, people in the crowd started whispering. One guest later told a blog, "It was like watching someone get left hanging in front of the whole school assembly." You could see the embarrassment in her eyes. Chrisean tried to recover, walking toward the dance floor alone with her head high. But as she passed a group of influencers, someone, loud enough for the nearby cameras to pick up, said, "Guess. He's not feeling it." The clip has already been viewed millions of times. It's turned into endless memes and reaction videos. But the rejection wasn't the only twist of the night. Midway through the event, another layer of the story broke. And it came from the last place Chrisean expected, her own fans, while she was still at the party. Screenshots started circulating on Twitter and Instagram, showing her new boyfriend in a DM exchange with another woman. Earlier that same day, the messages weren't explicitly romantic, but they were flirtatious enough to cause a stir. A woman whose identity is still mostly under wraps claimed he'd been checking in on her regularly for weeks. Even while publicly stepping out with Chrisean, the timing couldn't have been worse. By the time Chrisean left the venue, #he played her was trending alongside her name. Some fans defended her, saying she deserved privacy and grace. Others were harsher, calling the situation karma for how she's handled past relationships. Then came the final blow of the night, a short, shaky video posted to TikTok by an anonymous account, allegedly filmed at the event. In it, you can see Chrisean's boyfriend talking to a small group at the bar. One of them, the second that connection was made, the speculation went nuclear. Some fans believed it was pure coincidence. Others were convinced Jaden had known about the DMIs long before they were posted, maybe even had a hand in making them public. One comment under the screenshot summed up the mood perfectly. "If Jaden liked this, that means she saw it instantly. You don't see stuff like this instantly unless someone sends it to you first." And it didn't stop there. A gossip blogger with a track record for accurate tea claimed on Instagram lived that the woman in the DMs was a friend of Jaden's, and that the two had been spotted together just last week at a mutual acquaintance's birthday dinner. That piece of info sent fans spiraling into conspiracy mode. Was Jaden quietly orchestrating the whole thing to embarrass Chrisean? By mid-afternoon, a short clip from the birthday dinner surfaced blurry, but clear enough to see Jaden sitting next to a woman who bore a striking resemblance to the mystery girl from the screenshots. The internet didn't need confirmation. In their minds, the dots were already connected. And while all of this was blowing up online, Chrisean's new man wasn't exactly helping his own case. Instead of clarifying the situation or showing support, he posted a story from the gym with the caption, "I'm focused." No mention of Chrisean. No mention of the backlash. Just a flexing emoji and a video of him lifting weights. This move was interpreted as pure arrogance by Chrisean's fans, especially when an hour later he liked a post from a lifestyle influencer who just so happened to be, yes, you guessed it, friends with Jaden. The comment sections were brutal. Under his last Instagram post, people were tagging Chrisean and writing things like, "Girl, run." And this is not the fresh start you think it is. On Twitter, "He's a Plant" began trending, with fans suggesting he was never genuinely interested in her to begin with. But it gotten close to stir drama that would benefit her enemies. Then came the real bombshell. Late that night, a voice note was sent anonymously to a gossip account, a muffled but clearly audible conversation between two women. One voice was identified almost immediately as Jaden's. The other, allegedly the woman from the DMs. In the clip, the DM woman laughs and says she thought she was gonna stunt with him. We already knew how to play it. Jaden responds with something that makes the internet freeze. "Yeah, but make sure you get that on video next time." That one sentence flipped the entire story on its head. If true, it meant this wasn't a random embarrassment, it was a setup designed for maximum public impact. Gossip pages went into overdrive, replaying the voice note and debating its authenticity. Some argued it was fake or generated. Others swore it was real, pointing out vocal patterns and old videos for comparison. Chrisean herself stayed silent, but her fans noticed she deleted several recent photos of her and her new boyfriend from Instagram within hours of the clip going viral. Still, there's one piece of the puzzle missing, and it's the part that could either clear her new man completely or prove he was in on the plan the entire time. Because according to another anonymous source, someone at that high-profile event saw him and Jaden's friend talking privately before the dance. Floor rejection ever happened. And if that's true, then the whole night might have been nothing more than a staged humiliation. By Monday morning, the situation had snowballed into a full-blown social media civil war. The voice note leak was everywhere, from TikTok gossip channels to reaction videos on YouTube, racking up hundreds of thousands of views overnight. But what made this different from Chrisean's past controversies was the split in public opinion. Her die-hard fans came out swinging, flooding her Instagram with supportive comments like, "You don't deserve this, queen. We got your back. They've been plotting, but you always come back stronger." Meanwhile, her critics wasted no time throwing shade. This is what happens when you make your whole love life public. Embarrassing. And she thought it was a globe. Celebrity. Reactions only poured more gasoline on the fire. Young Miami went live on Instagram and, without naming names, said, "Some of these men y'all think are real. They're just playing roles. Stop letting them in your circle." The comment section immediately blew up with people tagging Chrisean Blueface. Unsurprisingly, couldn't resist jumping in. He tweeted, and later deleted, "Told y'all she can't pick him." That single line sparked a whole wave of memes, with some fans accusing him of secretly enjoying her downfall. Even within the influencer community, lines were being drawn. One LA-based blogger claimed she'd been invited to the same event and overheard a conversation between Jaden and Chrisean's new man that didn't sound like two strangers. Others pushed back, saying the blogger was just chasing clout and trying to insert herself into the drama. Brands who had recently partnered with Chrisean stayed quiet. But one PR insider leaked a supposed email thread suggesting at least one Sponsor was monitoring the situation closely to decide whether to move forward with a planned campaign. That alone had fans worried that this embarrassment could cost her more than just personal pride. On Twitter, the debate turned savage. Threads with thousands of retweets picked apart the timeline, comparing the dance floor rejection to the DM leak, then to the voice note. Some users even made side-by-side videos, syncing the clout comment he made at the bar with Jaden's laugh from the leaked audio, claiming it was proof they were in communication that night. Then came the biggest surprise. The alleged DM woman herself broke her silence. Posting a blurry selfie on her close friend's story, she wrote, "Since y'all want to make me the villain, y'all don't even know half the story." Of course, screenshots of that story were immediately leaked, adding another layer of mystery. What exactly was the half she was talking about? Did it involve Chrisean's boyfriend or something deeper between all parties involved? Even the mainstream blogs couldn't ignore it anymore. Hollywood Unlocked posted the full timeline under the headline, "Was Chrisean Rock Set Up?", pulling millions of views and igniting even more speculation. Through all of this, Chrisean remained radio silent. No lives, no posts, no statements, just a blackout. And for someone as outspoken as her, that silence spoke volumes. By Tuesday afternoon, fans were starting to demand answers. One viral tweet summed up the sentiment perfectly. If this was all a setup, she needs to name names. If it wasn't, she needs to own it and move on. But the silence is making it worse. And then, just as the noise was starting to plateau, a paparazzi video surfaced showing Chrisean leaving a studio late at night with a completely different man. The paparazzi clip was only 30 seconds long, but it was enough to detonate the internet all over again. It showed Chrisean hoodie up and moving fast, exiting a well-known recording studio in downtown LA around 1 a.m. She was flanked by 2 security guards, and right in the middle, walking beside her, was a man no one expected to see. He wasn't her boyfriend. He wasn't a random friend. Qua, a mid-tier rapper and producer with deep ties to both Blueface and Jaden. The moment TMZ posted the clip, comment sections erupted. This wasn't just another male friend walking her to her car. They were close, talking low. And at one point, Chrisean even grabbed his arm in a way that made it look familiar. And here's where it gets really messy. T has been accused before of being the middleman in industry setups, the guy who moves information, connects people, and stirs drama from behind the scenes without ever taking the heat. Himself, if he was with Chrisean that night, the questions became unavoidable. Was he there to comfort her, or to manage whatever fallout was still coming? Within hours, a supposed insider dropped another bomb. The woman from the DMIs, she and T have known each other for years. Old photos surfaced of them at the same parties, smiling in group shots, proof that this wasn't just some coincidence. That connection changed the game. Suddenly, theory wasn't just about Jaden and the DM woman. Now there was a possible third player tying it all together. And if T was in on it, then him being spotted with Chrisean could mean one of two things. He's feeding her information to blow the whole thing wide open. He's keeping her close to make sure she doesn't. Either way, fans knew one thing for sure: this wasn't over. The last few seconds of the clip are what really sent shivers through the fandom. As they approached the car, a paparazzo shouted, "Chrisean, was this all a setup?" She didn't answer, but T smirked. That smirk was enough to fuel hours of live streams, TikTok breakdowns, and conspiracy threads. Was it a wait-and-see smirk, or a "you'll never know the truth" smirk? As of now, Chrisean still hasn't addressed the voice note, the DMIs, or her boyfriend's cold rejection. And with T suddenly in the picture, the lines between friend, enemy, and accomplice are more blurred than ever. But one thing's certain: the story isn't finished. And if the whispers about part 2 of this plan are true, we haven't even seen the most humiliating part yet. So here we are, from the dance floor rejection to the leaked DMs, the voice note, and now this late-night studio sighting with T. The pieces don't just fit. They overlap, twist, and point to a bigger picture that feels way too calculated to be coincidence. But the real question is, what happens next? Was Chrisean really blindsided by all of this? Or has she been quietly playing her own game from the Sentin? And we all know I've been exploring that path, and my munting Kachin point to a bigger picture that feels way to see by not priding. But the real question is per cointing Kazin. What coin to see to you? Where will we see coin to see if they coin to you at? I can't why Katie or we see if you see it at 866 koi to see you do you like a see you at a see you can see what kakai you see kaika to you can we you guys see you I kakai you kaika kiki you can't wit to wit I you go we you to I go I kai kiki you with you we this I we will get Start. If T is connected to both the DM woman and Jaden, then why would he be walking her out of a studio in the middle of the night? Is he there to help her? Or to make sure she doesn't get the upper hand? And here's where you come in. I want to hear your theories. Drop them in the comments because trust me, the speculation right now is more wild than anything we've done, like we've seen all year. Do you think her boyfriend was in on the setup? Do you believe the voice note was real? And what's T's real role in all of this? The internet is already bracing for part 2 of this drama. And if the whispers are true, you might be looking at something even messier. Something that could flip the villain, okay, and victim labels completely. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and stay locked in, because the next chapter of this story could drop at any moment. And when it does, you want to be here to see it unfold first. And remember, in Hollywood, the truth isn't always what's in front of the cameras. Sometimes it's hiding in plain sight.